So guys, welcome to a free training about occupancy rate in your Airbnb business and short-term rental business. Now it could be you being an experienced operator, or if you're a new operator, this will give you a good insight. And I'm going to share you actually some of our client accounts, some of the channel manager, how you can look at occupancy rate, how some of the channel manager actually do it for you depending on the size of the property, where you connected OTA wise, and bring you a perfect data. But also Airbnb also has its own. But overall, you're going to learn about occupancy rate. You will have a great understanding of how to use occupancy rate as a part of your important KPI in your short-term renter business. And if you're new to this channel, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and let's go through this free training. This is what I want to talk about, occupancy rate and its simple meaning. If you don't understand it, or really don't get the actual understanding of how it's calculated, right, the exact formula. Obviously in Airbnb business is the most important thing, and let's go through it today. So guys, firstly, what is an occupancy rate? Now, occupancy rates in the Airbnb business refer to the percentage of time that your guest or particular listing is occupied by a guest. Now, it is a key matrix used, and I do it with my clients at the moment as well, is how quickly are they occupied, right? And what profit are they going to make with the occupancy rate? So now let's go back to the basic of the UK market. Now, before we move forward on this training, I would love you guys to think, what is your potential investment areas market average occupancy rate? Because that will give you, comment down below actually where you're from, where you're watching this video, and what do you think is the market average. Now, we have a tool that we've created based on obviously looking at other people listing, what's live in the market. We understand we can go not 100% data wise, but we know what to look at and how to calculate through my system and my software. But it'd be nice for you guys to just tell me what you think it is, and then later on when we go through this, hopefully you get to understand how to calculate it. So as a result of that, you should be able to look into people's calendar further and actually calculate what they're doing right now. And also it's going to help you go and actually bring some good business into your potential investment area too. Now think about how to calculate your occupancy rate. Now, if you see my screen, the occupancy rate is calculated by dividing the numbers of nights that the listing has been booked by the total numbers of nights available for booking within this specific period. Now, let's say if it's a month of 30 and you've been booked for 20, your 20 divided by 30. This period can be monthly, quarterly, or annually, spending on the, obviously, yeah, it depends on what you're serving. But most of the client who watch my video, who actually are going through running an operation of service accommodation or short-term renter business, they're more likely to do it, on a whole year basis. But this is a good indication. Now, for example, in this listing, let's say if a booking, you had a booking for 20 nights. Now, obviously it's a separate story how that 20 nights is being booked. Is it being booked by one customer? Is it booked by several customers? But it's 20 nights out of 30 nights available in a month. The occupancy rate would be about 66.67%, because the best way to do it is 20 divided by 30. So 20 nights booked, 30 nights available, times by 100 is going to give you what the percentage of occupancy rate is. So in this case, it is 66%, 66.67%. Now, this means obviously your listing is booked 2/3 of the available nights. Now, think about making profit. It all goes back to what nightly rate you're charging. Now, this is in a general the occupancy rate model. Now, I want to go through some of the different type of occupancy rate that's available for short-term rental owners, but also what's going to make you different. Now, this is going to be quite fascinating. As you can see from my screen, right, there's two different scenarios that you can, obviously I've seen it days in, days out, but if you're new to operation of Airbnb and service accommodation, you'll see here where it's a different ways of being occupied in your property. Now, scenario one, you are doing 2 nights minimum average stay, you've been booked 18 nights, right? And you're booked for £100 average. That's the standard rate that you're charging. Now your total revenue for that 18 nights you've been booked is £1,800. Although because you're doing 2 nights minimum stays, you're going to get 9 cleans total, which is for 30, let's say £30 per clean. It's £270 at the moment. That's what you're paying for the cleaning cost, which works out to be £1,530. So that's the actual revenue you make, because obviously you're paying the cleaning cost. Scenario 2, let's say you were doing a 6-night minimum average, but then you were still booked 18 nights. The only difference is you are charging £90 average, so actually £10 less. Remember, you only have 3 customers rather than 9. The revenue you've actually make is £16.20. The cleaning fee is still £30, and there's only 3 cleans, which is £90. But actually, you make the exact £1,530 on revenue. Now, what do you think is better for you? Scenario 1 or scenario 2? What do you think is better for your property? What do you think is better for your location? This all goes back to understanding your occupancy rate in the best way possible. Well, lastly, I want to show you on a client's account, brand new property launch. I want to show you how it looks like on his account right now. It's only been a few days of trading, but I want to show you what occupancy rate he is against the market, but also his length of stay. So as you can see here, from 19th of May to 18th of June, that's his occupancy rate. There's some above the market where, you know, he was doing about 76% versus the market doing about 51. It's now dropped because he's got a length of stay which is actually direct booking who's extended it, whereas if you look at the length of stay, that's what I'm the most excited about, because the market's doing an average of 5 nights, whereas if you look at my client, their average stay is currently 11 nights, and they've gone up. There's 10 nights, so every booking we're attracting is a very long term for our clients, and that's what you want to look into: your occupancy rate, look into your details, and especially around the length of stay. So guys, I hope you enjoyed another Grow Your B&B video, just a simple occupancy rate video. We've done so many other like unique video around guest booking behaviors, length of stay, lead time. So look, I would love you guys to do one thing. If you could please hit subscribe on this channel. Obviously, we've been making videos for the last 2.5 years, making a lot of content that's not out there in the market, or even if there is, we try and make sure it's much more detailed so you guys get to understand, learn from it, and hopefully one day you get to implement this into your business. So guys, thank you so much for watching another Grow Your B&B video.